How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rowlet, and welcome back to another Top 10 video. Now, today, guys, we're going to be counting down the top 10 features that we want to see come back, or just new features that we want to see in future Pokemon games. And joining me today is going to be a fellow friend by the name of Accomplished. Now, say hi to the people.
Thanks for having me aboard, Rowlet. Hey, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Accomplished. I'm a smaller YouTuber who creates content from Minecraft gameplay to Pokemon top 10s and playthroughs. I have a huge passion for creating content for my subscribers, and I hope you all enjoy the content that I create. With that being said, thanks for having me, Ruffled, and I hope some of you decide to come check me out at my channel.
Either way, lads, that's going to be it for the introduction. Now let's get right into this countdown video. Number 10.
Return of Companion Pokemon. Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, along with the remakes, were some of the most popular games in the series. One of the most popular features of these games in the fan base was having your leading Pokemon follow you around. It's a small cosmetic detail that every trainer appreciated. And with the data mining of Sun and Moon, 3D walking and running models of every Pokemon was found, so it's likely that this feature was meant to make a return, but may have been removed due to the 3DS limitation. Hopefully, Generation 8, along with the power of the Nintendo Switch, is able to bring this back, and I'll be able to walk around with my Alolan Raichu once and for all.
Number 9. Post-game journey to another region. Now, the only other game that I can think of that actually did this were like the Gen 2 games and Gen 4's Soul Silver and Heart Gold, where you could finish off Johto and then go to Kanto. Now, this is something we have not seen in a Pokemon game in a very, and I say very, very, very long time. So I really would like to see the potential of maybe having, after you complete a certain region, you actually get to explore another one, an old region, or maybe even just a little semi-new one. But always would be cool, to kind of see that, let's say you complete Hoenn, maybe you get to go back and play a bit of, Johto, or a new part, like the map, like, locks up, and you get to play through Johto, or maybe something like that. Now, the reason I'm mentioning this is because the way it kind of works back in Generation 4, when they did, like, Soul Silver and Heart Gold and whatnot, back in like Gen 1, and then when they made, Silver and Gold, is that it was pretty easy to port over the things they had into making the extra parts. So it was kind of easy to make the extra region for the Gen 2, era. It wasn't too hard for them to do that. But nowadays, the companies try, especially Game Freak, is trying to compact it into a very small little thing. So it's not very likely that that might happen. But if they do that, it'd be amazing. I would love to see them actually featuring more than one region, and just like an extra region after you complete the first one. Number 8.
Difficulty setting. Pokemon's audience is typically aimed towards children, but it's not a secret that many older teens and adults share mutual love for the franchise. Being this way, some people find that as the series progresses, the difficulty of the games decreases. Black and White made an attempt to add difficulty settings, and this was a step in the right direction. Unfortunately, this never happened again, and Generation 8 would be a good time to make the game harder. Whether it be a setting or just a regular game standard, a harder challenge always pays off well.
Number 7. A potential multiplayer journey. Now, what does this mean? Well, basically, imagine you playing Pokemon, your normal Pokemon journey, my name is Professor Oak, blah, 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 you choose boy or girl, you make your character, but instead of you being the chosen one, quote-unquote, instead there is a bunch of players around you, a bunch of trainers, and you get to play through the games with them alongside your actual journey. The people can join you, your friends can join you, and you can see each other directly in-game. Now, something like this already does exist, sort of, and there's like PokeMMOs that exist online you can go and check out. Now, these do exist, but what if we got something like this, but it was official, like actually official, and made by the Pokemon freaking company, or Game Freak, rather, and actually created by them for us consumers, and it was actually an official thing and not just something that's fan-made, because if they actually took their time and made it themselves, we could possibly be looking at one of the best, just one of the best MMORPGs out there if they made Pokemon into just a, online multiplayer journey or MMORPG, quote-unquote, that everybody can play together in. You and your friends can join in, you can make groups and whatnot. Maybe you can even make your own little gyms here and there, and just a bit of an open thing where you can just kind of explore and, play through Pokemon other than just playing it solo and single player, which is what Pokemon has always been about. It's always been kind of single player, other than Wi-Fi battles. But either way, let's get to the next one on the list. Number 6.
Bring more life back into Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution is cool. I need to establish that Mega Evolution was a new step for the Pokemon series, and they nailed it with the release of Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. And when Oras came out, we got even more incredible Mega Evolutions. I mean, just look at Mega Swampert. That thing is a tank. There's just one problem, however. With the addition of Z-moves, Mega Evolution has completely taken the back seat. Generation 8 needs to bring life back into this forgotten edition, and there's still plenty of Pokemon that could benefit from having a buff with a Mega Evolution. Even if Generation 8 returns to primal forms, hopefully this amazing addition comes back with a bang. Flygon, Masuda, Flygon. Its art is great, its stats need a boost, just please, give us this finally.
Number 5. Complete trainer customization. Now, personally, this is something that I am not in major need of. I do think we have enough player customization as it is, but a lot of people want to see more and more customization options. Now, what would these be? Well, essentially, if they're going to add, customization to one extent, then I feel like they should add customization to the point where you can actually make your own character that looks exactly like you. Because currently, there is shops where you can buy different shirts, outfits, and whatnot to make your character fit you as much as possible, but you always have kind of this set amount of hairstyles and hair colors and whatnot that you get to choose from the start, and there's not just enough depth in that. So if they're going to be going with that, they should go full out, because I personally am not a fan of customization. I've always liked the silent hero protagonist, like that character that, just iconic characters. When you think of Link, you think of freaking, Mario, and all these characters, they're iconic. I mean, imagine if Mario all of a sudden just had an option in a game we could customize all his outfits and just make them totally different from what they actually are. Or maybe his, original red outfit, you can just change that fully. It would look a bit weird. It wouldn't make much sense. It's iconic. So I personally do prefer iconic characters, but then again, that's my opinion, and I do feel like we're going towards an era where customization is way more important, and especially if it was going to be a Pokemon MMORPG, like I mentioned in a previous number on this list. If they're doing a MMORPG, then customization to the fullest is a must-have. So in that aspect, I'd say yes, 100% do add that sort of thing, because it will be 100% needed. But in a single-player Pokemon game, customization is already pretty good, but it could always improve more, or it can just come back with the old school, main protagonists that don't really have much to change on them. But either way, let's go to the next one on the list. Number 4.
More regional variant Pokemon. From the frozen beauty of Ninetales to the surfing glory of Raichu, regional variant Pokemon was one of the most unexpected features to grace this 7th generation, and boy did it work. The idea of regional variation brings new life to Pokemon that otherwise may have been forgotten. Take Sandslash, for example. Sandslash was already a well-designed Pokemon, but by giving it an Alolan form, it opened up the door for it to become noteworthy and popular again. This trend is something that shouldn't be ignored, and with Generation 8 should come more variants that bring life to weaker or forgotten Pokemon.
Number 3. Now, next up on the list is going to be Pokemon Fusions. Now, I love fusions. I do a lot of fusion videos on my channel, a lot of top 5 countdowns and top 10 countdowns and all these things. I just love them so much. And what I would love to see is potentially that being kind of extended beyond what we currently have. Extending it to the point where we could get even more fusion-like things. We do have in Black and White, Kyurem, Reshiram, and Zekrom and whatnot, and they can merge into each other and create different, just basically these Pokemon could merge into each other. But my point is, imagine if we could just create different fusions out of different Pokemon, not just the, legendaries from Black and White, but just other Pokemon in general. Mixing up a grass type with a water type, or just making a bit of fusions. Now, this is something that's very unlikely to happen, but it's something I always kind of wanted to see. But I would just say this, it's very unlikely because of one reason. it would make the game very unbalanced. It would be pretty hard to balance a game with that many fusions. But if they could just add a few fusions, just a few itsy bitsy ones to a few Pokemon that could fuse together with each other, that would be really nice. Or, you know, maybe breed together a few Pokemon and they create a new species. That would be pretty cool. I always thought, you know, breeding could go to a different extent, because really, when you think about it, breeding is pretty weird in Pokemon and we should not question it. But either way, let's go to the next one on the list. Number 2.
New Eeveelution. Eevee. Everyone's favorite bunny. Well, if you prefer Bunnelby, that's cool, but ignore that for 2 seconds. The last Eeveelution we received was Sylveon, and it was only introduced to be the poster child of fairy typing, which isn't a bad thing, but at the same time, not exactly what I meant. What about a dragon type? Flying type? Even a poison type? The next set of games would be a good time to finally let our genetic freak branch out to yet another evolution. But seriously, just think about it. There's still so many types that Eevee hasn't evolved into, and there's so much design potential on this little guy. Come on, Game Freak, give it a chance for the next generation.
Number 1. And finally on the list, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have ourselves open worlds. Now, open world in Pokemon is something that a lot of people have wanted to see for a long time. Imagine a giant Pokemon world. Something like, you know, if you think about, you know, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, something like that, but open and just packed with Pokemon cities, Pokemon centers, gyms, the Elite Four, all these things, and you're able to go wherever you want. There's nothing restricting you. There's other players around you in an open world, just an MMORPG style thing, like a sandbox where you can sort of go and just do whatever you want. Now, we've seen these sort of things in stuff like Pixelmon, but that is just not up to par. I mean, Pixelmon's cool and all, but it's not up to par to an open world Pokemon game. An open world Pokemon game would need to be done properly and have good graphics. That's what I want to see. So everybody, and a lot of people I know, everybody would like to see a open world Pokemon game. It doesn't have to be in the main series, of course. It wouldn't make much sense to be a main series game. Just a spin-off side game would be really nice. Officially made by the Pokemon Company or Game Freak. You know, not just something made by fans, because fans have to bust their balls all the time and just bust themselves out trying to make these amazing freaking fan games that are open world and whatnot, and they get shut down all the time, which is really sad. So I want to see, I mean, if you can shut them down, Game Freak and Nintendo, then at least, you know, give them a chance. If you're not going to, you know, if you're not going to give them a chance, sorry, then take your time and make an open world Pokemon game, because that is something a lot of people want to see, and I would put my money on that right away. But guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, then drop a like down below, and also check out future videos from me on this channel. Subscribe for, you know, other things such like that. Either way, also another thing I want to say, guys, and I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to tell you all to go check out Accomplished. His link is going to be down in the description. He also does Pokemon videos and other such things. His channel is down there, so go check him out, drop a like and subscribe to him. Guys, that'll be really appreciated. Either way, leave a comment down below, tell me, guys, what's a feature that you want to see in a Pokemon game that we might not have mentioned. Either way, that's going to be it for the day, guys. I'll catch you all the next time. Bye bye.